Ugh, oh man, what a day. Ugh. Whew. Long day. I think I picked the wrong week to quit amphetamines. Whew. Let's see. Miller High Life. Mind grabbing me a brew? Oh yeah. Alright, let's see. Checking my email off of work. Let's see. What the emails have I been getting today?
Winter is coming.
Come again?
Winter is coming.
Was weird. I'm sure it has absolutely nothing to do with the horrific fan fiction that I read. Is my camera on? No. I had a long day at work. It's Monday. I am not even scheduled to do my show today. No, there is no way in hell that I am reviewing that sorry piece of shit excuse for a fanfic. No way. Alright. Looks like I'm gonna do this whether I like it or not. Alright? Fine, I'll do it. I said I'll do it! Oh, God. Why? Oh, God. I'm another fanfic critic, and I'm really gonna need to drink more. Well, it looks like the old gods and the new want me to review this horrible Game of Thrones fanfiction that I came across the other day. So let's get started. Well, it's on fanfiction.net. It's rated T. It's humor. It's Tyrion Lannister. It's called Tiny Tyrion versus the Mountain Men. I mean, it can't be that bad. He did come across the mountain tribes in the Vale, and they kind of had a little scrap. So, it can't be too bad. Author's note, I do not own any of Martin's work. That's why I'm writing this, alone. Okay? This is centered around Tyrion Lannister, the character played in the HBO series by actor and dwarf Peter Dinklage. Alright. Before we get started. Alright, let's begin. Tyrion Lannister, the dwarf of the Lannister clan, was trapped. The Mountain Men of the Vale, they put the Mountain Men of Vale, I guess it doesn't matter, led by the monstrous Shagga, looked ready to slice him up into little pieces. This is pretty canon so far, and they could too. They had the swords to back it up. Tyrion gulped a big gulp. So this is it, he asked. Has my final hour come? Shagga, stinking of liquor and mud, hacked and wheezed and slapped his hand across his own thigh. You look like a bearded fetus, Shagga yelled. Alright, number one. Game of Thrones is set kinda, it's an alternate universe, but set in medieval times. I really doubt they know what a fetus is. They would have other ways of insulting each other's size. Like, calling Tyrion the half-man and the imp. I mean, that works just as well. His mountain men laughed in unison while Tyrion looked on in puzzlement. I beg your pardon, Tyrion asked. You're a tiny feller, Shagga replied. His mountain men laughed in unison some more. Shagga was cruel for pointing it out, but he wasn't wrong. Tyrion was 3 feet and 10 inches. I am a dwarf, yes, but I resent being called a fetus. They don't know what a fetus is! Tyrion replied. Tyrion wasn't a fetus. He was a dwarf. Really? thought this whole time he was a developing baby Lannister. For fuck's sake. So are you going to kill me? I'll admit, I'm heavily outnumbered, and I'm likely to expire. You missed the quotation mark at the end of that. You are so short that you could commit suicide by jumping off a curb, Shaga heckled. His mountain men all cheered and laughed hysterically in unison. Interesting, Tyrion muttered. Shaga pointed rudely at Tyrion. This guy is so short, God. I feel like the story is not going anywhere. I mean, they're beating a dead horse at this point. Their jokes aren't going to get any funnier, I bet. God. How short is he? The mountain men hollered back in unison. Okay. Since you said they were yelling back in unison the first time, pretty sure they're still yelling back in unison. You don't have to keep saying it. He's so short he needs a ladder to pick up a penny. A penny? A penny? A penny is part of an American currency. Not only is this set in medieval times, it's not even in America. It's in a completely made-up place. They don't have pennies. Oh, the mountain men shouted and hollered. Shaga was on fire. He began circling Tyrion while gyrating his right arm and flicking his wrist and fingers to make a repeated snapping noise. Actually, fun fact about me, I can only snap with my left hand. Alright. Tyrion stood motionless. Was this going to be how he spent his final hour in Westeros? Right, well, you've landed a few blows. We all grasp that I am a dwarf. Is that it then? Thank you. Tyrion grew impatient. You're so short you could hang glide on a Dorito. A Dorito? Excuse me. A Dorito? Sorry. I just had to bang my head against the wall. The mountain men grew even rowdier. Did Shaga rehearse these in advance? He was full of them. Well, if he did, they're not very good. Tyrion was confused. I'm not familiar with the word Dorito, Tyrion replied. And to be honest, nobody else was either, but the mountain men certainly weren't going to say anything to Big Shaga, who by this point was firing everyone up by cupping his ear to each side of his crowd and flexing muscles at them. Shaga wound up for his next pitch. You're so short you use a condom for a sleeping bag. What the hell? What the hell is a condom? Tyrion frustratingly, God, that's an awkward word, get rid of it, shouted over the group, that was drowned out by their celebration. Nobody knew what condoms were either. That's why everyone in Westeros had syphilis. Can I say something? Tyrion asked. Sure, but... Shaga paused and gestured with an over-the-top, shit-eating grin to his men. Keep it short. This guy is absolutely unbearable. I think he barely said 10 words in the series. The mountain-men tribes of the Vale are not known for their wit. I mean, they're huge, undereducated, strong killers. They're tribal men, you know? I am Shaga, son of Doth, you know? Can I say something? Oh, I already read that part, sorry. Sure. His mountain men exploded with laughter. A quarter of the mountain men in unison were visibly peeing themselves, which created a burning sensation because of the syphilis. TMI. Look, enough of this. I would rather be dead than subjected to this horrible act. So if you mountain men had any balls at all, you'd end my life right now, Tyrion shouted in protest. Shaga suddenly froze as his mountain men gasped. Everyone was still. You could hear a pin drop. Something Shaga would have said was Tyrion's version of a battle sword, had he not been so rudely interrupted. Shaga bent down, scratched his scruffy beard, and leaned into Tyrion's face. His mountain men stood in silence, in unison. "All right, lad," Shaga grunted. Tyrion gulped one last big gulp. Time to die. Shaga grabbed his behemoth, sword out of his holster and swung it wildly in the air. Tyrion, in a moment of desperation, did what any abnormally short man would do, crawl beneath his enemy's legs. "Where'd he go? He was just here," Shaga screamed. But the mountain men saw him and tried to pounce. But just like that pesky mouse you can't swat with a broom, Shaga's men kept missing tiny Tyrion. That's what happens when you pounce in unison, you miss together. Shaga and his men chased down Tyrion all the way to the field until Tyrion found his escape route, an anthill. Tyrion crawled in with ease while the mountain men stumbled, swinging their swords with vigor. They never caught him. So the mountain men went home to do what they did every night, had merciless sex with each other. Ew. Tyrion tried to catch his breath while he weaved through the sandy anthill corridors. He stopped for a break. Two red ants turned the corner and saw Tyrion. The ant screamed, "Holy shit, a bearded fetus." Tyrion was one tiny son of a bitch. And that's the end of Tiny Tyrion versus the Mountain Man. Do I even have to say how stupid this story was? Now look, there are two kinds of people in the world. People who are funny and people who are not funny. Writer, you're not funny. Your jokes are stale, overused. It's just fucking stupid humor. It's something that my little brother could come up with. Then they had sex with each other. That's so funny. No, it's not. God. Fuck. I told you I didn't want to review this. I'm sorry, but I told you the old gods and the new made me review this. You heard them. So, God. Ugh. Speaking of my little brother is in a band that they're doing pretty successfully in Jacksonville right now. And if you could just like their page on Facebook, I'm going to post it in the box down there. They're called Rapid Tide. My brother is the drummer, so just check them out and like them, just to support local music. Alright, I'm AnotherFicCritic. Sign up.